Hi everyone, welcome back to New Dram Drinker. We hope you have had a great week. I have got a whiskey today that is it's a brand that's been with us from the start, and it kind of holds a little bit of a kind of soft spot in our hearts. So we're going to try and put that to one side and be, objective about it, and hopefully we'll enjoy it. But watch this little cinematic and then we'll crack on with the video. Okay, so as you saw from that cinematic, it is the Glenmorangie A Tale of Cake. Like I said before, Glenmorangie holds a bit of a soft spot in our hearts because I think it was one of the very first videos that we ever did, the 10-year-old original, and it's the whiskey that kind of set us off on our journey, to be honest. So I think that always kind of, is a bit of a special whiskey to you, isn't it? Also, this whiskey kind of, it hits the nail on the head with what it's saying. It's a tale of cake. You kind of know exactly what it's aiming for. So we didn't want that to influence our kind of review. So we did a little bit of a blind tasting just to see whether, if we knew which whiskey it was we were drinking, would we pick out all the cake notes. So we did kind of a blind tasting, and we picked it out every single time as being the one that was kind of cake. So it's not kind of pushed into your head from all the branding and everything like that. It genuinely did stand out to us as a very kind of cakey whiskey. So that worked for us. So we thought, okay, then we'll crack on with the review. So we will have a look at the bottle and see what we think of that to start with. Okay, so the bottle, it's classic Glenmorangie. I don't think they've ever changed their bottle shape. I think it's always been this slender kind of bottle. I mean, it's a lovely bottle. The cake label, I mean, it's like I said before, it's hitting the nail on the head. It's telling you everything that it wants you to know it's going to be. We've had some, as you can see, so I'm happy to say that it does, because one of my pet hates is when they say it's going to be something and it's not, and this is screaming from the rafters that it's cake. So luckily they hit the nail on it, so we're all good with that one as well. So yeah, it's a decent bottle. It's nice. People tend to look at it and ask what the cake thing is when they see it on the bar, so it gets people's attention, which is good. I suppose that's what it's designed to do, and it makes us want to drink it because my sweet tooth kind of kicks in every time I look at it, and it's just a cracking looking bottle. So let's get on to the colour. Got that golden kind of tinge to it, the orange tinge. It's very rich. It just kind of fits in with the whole kind of rich. You're kind of expecting it to be rich and smooth. So yeah, I mean, it looks lovely. So shall we get on to the nose? Okay, so I'll let the cat out of the bag a little bit. For me, I think the nose is the nicest part of this whiskey. It is so scrumptious is the word. I'm going to crack on so that I can give you a little bit more info, but I already know this is my favourite part. It just smells like, when you go to the supermarket and you buy one of those boxes that's got the eclair, the custard slice, all the other different, like a, I don't know, like a jammy donut or something in there as well. There's 5 or 6 cakes, and you open the box and you get that smell of ice and sugar and jam and cream and pastry and like a soft butter kind of note. It's all there, and it's basically like opening a Tesco's cake box. But it is that actually like, you know, like a slant on the whiskey, because it smells like a Tesco's cake box. But it's those kind of notes. It's just that cake and that sugary kind of sweetness. It's just so moreish. I suppose you could also say, like we've said before, it's like the sweet shop sweetness when you go into a sweet shop and they've got all the jars, but you've got that kind of that sugariness in the air. You just know that it's a sweet shop that you're in. You know, someone could put you in there with a blindfold on, you'd know what kind of shop you're in. It's such an awesome nose. You've got strawberry, vanilla, there's a sponge, like a butteriness. You can actually envisage the cake being made almost in your head from the ingredients. Icing sugar, white sugar. But the ABV is not very high, so it's not kind of, it doesn't get in the way of anything. All the flavours are there to be smelt. I'm going to go to my notes because I've been drinking it through the week, just trying to get some idea of a little bit of what's going on in the glass. So I'm going to say strawberries, raisins, vanilla cream. You know, like the pots of ready-made icing you can get that are like the vanilla, strawberry, chocolate and that. It's like the vanilla or the strawberry one of that, where you like spoon it out, put it onto the top of the cake and just kind of, you know, smear it all over. It's very much like that. Sherry, yeah, I got like a sponge soaked in. I'm going to stutter all of a sudden. I'm going to carry on. I'm not going to cut it. We're professionals here. It's like a sherry soaked sponge. So it's just really, really nice. Rich, slight citrus as well. There is. It's only a very hint of it. It's almost like, you know, when you put the lemon rind into the cake mixture. It's almost like it's in there, but it's not a major component of the whiskey. And butter. So yeah, everything I said really before, it is just a stunning nose, and it's probably one of the most exquisite noses. I'm not doing very well here, am I? Noses that make you want to drink a whiskey, and it really makes me want to drink it. So before I make any more mistakes, I'm going to crack on with the Palate. Let's go. The Palate. I'm looking forward to this. Okay, so the Palate's quite unexpected, because initially it starts off quite mellow. It's almost like it goes and there's nothing going on, and all of a sudden it's like your saliva and everything mixes with it and the flavours explode, and you get this kind of spicy pepperiness that the nose doesn't give away at all. You're just not expecting it. Once the peppers kind of, I don't know whether it fades away or whether your palate just gets used to it, then everything else is allowed to come through and you get those cake notes. But the pepper is definitely kind of just there in the background. Again, it's almost like it's to start with, it's almost like it's on the top of the cake, so you bite into it and that's what your mouth gets. But eventually it's almost just like it was in the cake mixture, and it's just part of the whiskey rather than the main kind of crust of it. So that's probably the best way I can explain it. But then you get all the fruits, and you get all kind of the jam and the butter and the creaminess and all those kind of things. So I mean, it's hard to describe this without really referencing the cake, which is what the selling point of it is, because those are the notes. It's hard to use any other kind of description for it, because it genuinely is quite close to what they're saying it is. It's a really pleasant whiskey. So I'm going to go to my notes and flesh it out a little bit more. Thin to start, but explodes with flavours, as we said. Spicier than expected. Rich raisins, vanilla, cream. Marzipan was another one as well. I had to hunt a little bit for that. There was something in there that I knew what it was, but it's very slight, but it is there, and I did settle on marzipan in the end, so I hope that you get that as well, because I'd like to know in the comments if that's something you get. Fruits, dark fruits I would say, not so much light fruits. Honey, butter and white chocolate. It's a very, very nice dram, to be honest, and I would highly recommend you trying it if you get the opportunity to. So let's move on to the finish. Okay, so going into the finish. The pepperiness is the main component of the finish. It's a stronger part of the finish than it is the nose and the palate. It's virtually non-existent on the nose. It's definitely there at the forefront on the palate at the start, but with the finish it definitely kind of reappears as it fades out. It doesn't overpower again as it fades out. It lets kind of the fruits come through, and there's definitely a kind of a rich burnt honey note on the end that's really pleasant. It just kind of fades out in that sweetness and that honey, and it's a really, really pleasant finish. So I mean, overall it's a nice journey whiskey, like we say. Yeah, the nose is one thing, the palate is another thing, and the finish is almost its own thing as well. It's just very, very pleasant. So I'm looking forward to award this, to be honest. So let's crack on with the award. So overall, for me, this is an awesome dram. I mean, it's everything that I like in a whiskey. It's super kind of sweet, sugary, fruity, cakey, like they say it is. They're true to the word, which that's all I ask really. If you're going to proclaim something on your bottle, at least be kind of close to it. This is pretty much spot on, to be honest. So the award I've said it earlier on in the review, but the award I'm going to give it is nail on the head, because they've hit the nail on the head with it. They've made a whiskey, called it what it is. But do you think they actually name it and then make the whiskey to the name, or do they like make the whiskey and then try it and then call it? I don't know. That's a question to ask. But for this, taking all that into the equation, nail on the head. They've done a remarkable job. Also, we did a video way back when, and we actually called it Cake. Our video was called Cake, and it was how to taste a whiskey properly. So it kind of fits in with that as well. So it's go back and watch that. I'll put a link if you want to go and have a look at it. But it was a video from a while ago, so you know, you might not have seen it before, but it's well worth a look. But yeah, so it's been awesome. Thank you for watching. If you want to join our members club, the Certified Originals, then please feel free. I'll put all the pop-ups at the bottom here so you can find how to do it. It's simple. There's a great group of people just waiting there to talk to you, to be honest. I mean, they're not waiting, they're not sat there like thinking, where is he, come on. But they're all chatting away, and if you pop up in the chat, you will be welcomed with open arms, trust me. It's a great group of people. And I've got a little bit left in my glass. So, as we always say here on New Drum Drinker, pour it, drink it, enjoy it. Hi guys, welcome back to New Drum Drinker. What's with the little lisp that
You need to loosen your lips up a little bit, like to go like the singers do.
You know, I can't roll my R's. I'm not going to